Hey there drone fans, Rick here again from Drone Valley. Today I'd like to show you a brand new product that I think will really enhance your drone flying experience. It's called the DroneMask from our good friends over at MovieMask. And before I get too deep in all the nerdy details of what makes this product so cool, I thought I'd give you the backstory on where it came from, because anytime I find a new product that's incredibly interesting, I immediately start thinking about the person that sat down at a kitchen table with a blank sheet of paper and designed this product. What problem were they trying to solve, and did they really accomplish that task? Now, the backstory in this one is incredibly cool because this product was started back in 2016 by two young students from Norway, Eric Wallstrom and Harold Mannheim. Now, they came to the US, I think it was California, and decided to go to a movie. And I think they walked into one of those IMAX theaters where when you come in the movie, it seems like the screen goes on forever. The sound is absolutely amazing. To watch the movie Hateful Eight, which is a Quentin Tarantino movie. And I am a huge Tarantino fan, so I'm immediately a fan of these two guys. But when they left the theater, they thought, boy, that was amazing. That film was tremendous, and I felt like I was right there in the action. Why is it different when we go home and watch it on our widescreen TVs? It's because there's all this ambient stuff going on around you, and they thought, why don't we try to find a way to bring that movie experience home so you can have some of that in your living room? And they originally designed this product as the MovieMask, and essentially what it did was take your phone, put it inside the unit, and it's got a set of lenses in there that magnify that image to the point where it's so big and so bright that you feel like you're in the movie theater. And a couple of years later, either they started flying drones or people suggested it. They thought, you know what? This would be a perfect solution for FPV on drones. Now, if you don't fly FPV today, first-person view is a different way of flying your drone. It's almost like you're Superman and you're strapped to the bottom of the drone. You feel like you're up in the sky. Matter of fact, when I'm flying FPV, for some reason, I'm looking up as if, I'm not really looking at the drone, I'm looking at a screen, but you tend to look up, you tend to move around a lot. So whenever I fly FPV, if it's a long day, I'm going to sit down a little bit because I'll tip myself over. And that's a caution I have to give you. Don't fly it for a long time, especially if you're a little bit older or you're on medication where you've got dizzy spells that kick in or you've got heart conditions. Fly a little bit, take it off, fly a little bit more. It's not dangerous, but it's so immersive that you feel like you're in that drone, and that throws off your perspective quite a bit. So always take a break. The other thing is you can't fly FPV without a spotter. So every time I go out with this mask, I've got a buddy with me. I'll fly for a little bit. I'll let him fly for a little bit, and I'll spot for him. And that way you can go back and forth. You really shouldn't fly FPV because if you're flying first-person view and don't have somebody around you, you can't really see the airspace around your drone. So again, the rule is if you're flying FPV, have a spotter with you. But back to this. So they went to the movie theater and came back and said, we're going to design this product. Now they spent thousands of hours, hundreds of meetings, designing this, prototypes, having manufacturers send them equipment. And what's so unique about this product, unlike other FPV goggles and FPV headsets, and if you're using VR goggles, is that it's incredibly simple. It's not complicated. There's no batteries, no software, no special software to use it. You basically use your phone you're using today with your drone controller, you snap it in the front of the unit, and they've got a set of proprietary lenses they've developed that actually magnify that image to the point where you can see it crystal clear. You can wear it with glasses. You can adjust it to get the right focus length on it. Everything about it is incredibly simple. And the best part is it's universal. It'll work with any drone, any controller, any phone. As long as it fits in the front of the unit, you're good to go. Now, the challenge with it, and this is something they solved, and I don't know how other companies missed this, is that most of the FPV goggles that are out today are very proprietary. They're dedicated. So for example, if you're flying DJI today, you may have seen these type of goggles. Now DJI has been a manufacturer of goggles like this for a lot of years. Essentially what you've got inside a standard pair of VR goggles like this, or FPV goggles, let me try to separate these two, get rid of that, is you've got two lenses, and in the front you've got two high resolution screens. But the problem is, when you're generating an image in here, there's actually a processor inside there that'll generate different images for both of your eyes. And that doesn't give you a 3D view, but it gives you a bit of a 3D view of that image. So you've got two displays up front, you've got two lenses behind it, and then you've got to adjust for your eye distance, the IPD distance, all the rest of that, but it does a pretty good job. The downside to a dedicated set of goggles like this is that they're tied to a certain operating system or a certain drone. So if you own these goggles, they'd work with some of your drones, but if you change drone manufacturers to Autel or Skydio or somebody else, you can't really use these. They're locked in to a manufacturer's drone and specifically a manufacturer's set of drones. With this one, you don't have to worry about that because the only thing you're looking at is your phone. So if your phone connects up to your controller, you can pop it in the front of the unit and you can actually use it and there's no issues. The other challenge with this one is these tend to be really expensive because those screens on the front are high resolution, so you've got essentially 2 high resolution screens. You've got a very specific set of lensing inside there that has to be adjusted for IPD and everything else. With this one, it's drop dead simple. You basically open up the front of the unit like this, you flip this down, you pop your phone in right here, you close it up, zip it up, and you're off and flying. And you can see the goggle lenses in there right now. So there's one big lens across the front of it, and it just works fantastic. And what they figured out, and this is where all the prototypes came in, I think, was they figured out how to actually take that single image and magnify it, but not throw it off, because there's all kinds of things that come into play. There are things around parallax where both eyes really kind of have a hard time focusing on that front screen at the same time. They've eliminated all those issues completely. Now, early versions of this and some of the less expensive versions that you can buy for a couple of dollars use an old style lens called a Fresnel lens. Now, a Fresnel lens it's sort of a concentric circles that are cut into a piece of plastic. And really what it was designed to do was, in years gone by, lighthouses needed a way to amplify the light so they could see it miles offshore. And that came from that French inventor, Fresnel, who came up with the Fresnel lens. And it was basically designed to take a single source of light and spread it out for a long distance. It was really never designed to take a bunch of light and focus it on your eyes. But a lot of people use that Fresnel lens, and it does an okay job. This is an optical lens. It's actually, I think it's Lexan, but it's a formed lens that actually takes that image and perfectly amplifies it or magnifies it so your eyes see it and you can focus on it. Now, one of the things they figured out, and this is a problem with a lot of other goggle sets, is if this is a fixed length between your eyes and that actual image you're looking at, it's not going to be perfect for everybody, because our focal distance are different on our eyes. Our eyes are further apart or closer together. I tend to have eyes that are closer together, so I'm a little beady-eyed. A lot of people have eyes that are really wide, and that's where the IPD comes in, that interpupillary distance, where you can make that adjustment to move the lenses back and forth. What they figured out here was the way you can focus this, there's a little lever on the bottom. You can loosen that. You can actually extend these out so that you can adjust that focal length to get it perfect for your set of eyes, and then lock this and you're good to go. The other cool thing they did with this, and this is important, is that a lot of these goggle sets, this one included, don't really work well with glasses. Now, I wear glasses that are a 2.0, so it's sort of correcting for my lenses, because I'm getting a little bit older. Those 2.0s really focus in really well. The problem with a lot of the goggle sets is I can't wear those glasses when I'm wearing the goggle set, so I either have to replace those lenses with a 2x multiplier, or I've just got to find another set of goggles. With this one, you have plenty of room inside here to wear your glasses while you're wearing the goggle set, which I think is really cool. Another nice thing they did is they've got a really soft foam here. That's a breathable material, so it's not like a lot of the goggle sets I use tend to to fog up over time, because you're outside, you're sweating a little bit, and the lenses get foggy. These I don't have that problem with. The last thing I'll say is it's an incredibly durable design, but it's lightweight. So you put this thing on, I'm going to look goofy, and I don't care. Here we go. You put it on, it's almost like you're not wearing anything. It's really that lightweight, completely dark inside there. It just gives me, I feel like I'm sitting in a theater waiting for the movie to start. It's absolutely that dark in there and that exciting. And when you put these guys on, they're great, but they're really heavy, so you know you've got them on. Now, they do a pretty good job of balancing them across your head, but again, they're heavier than the other ones, and that's because of the lensing and the technology and all the core electronics in there. All right, so I love this unit a lot. I didn't do the unboxing. Let me do that. So you get a set of goggles. You get a really nice carry bag that's got the DroneMask on the front of it there, so you can put that in there and protect it, not get it dusty. You'll get a instruction manual. There's not a lot of instructions. Everything I just explained to you is in the instruction manual, but you get an instruction manual, and you get a really nice thank you card. And here's a picture of the development team that worked on this. And again, I'm such a huge fan of inventors in general, and when you have young people that say, you know, we're going to do something different, no one's ever done before, we're going to build this drone mask, and we think it's pretty cool, and then have the persistence to spend the time needed to go through those development efforts, to come up with prototypes, and, well, that one didn't work, let's try it a different way, let's try it a different manufacturer, different materials. We have to champion that kind of stuff, because that's where brilliant things come from. So good on the team over at MovieMask for building this. I do want to show you how to connect up your phone. So, for example, if you've got a standard phone, like an Apple phone, I've got an Apple iPhone over here. Let me connect that up first. Essentially, what you're going to do is there's two little clamps inside here, right there, that are expandable. You just put your phone in the first one, pull it out, put the second one around it like that. Make sure they're clipped in nice and tight, then fold it up, and that's it. You can zip it up, and you can use your controller. Now, I did find one challenge with this, because when I first started flying, I thought, okay, that's great, I got my phone in there, but my controller, how do I connect my controller to the actual phone? Because if you've got a controller, let's say you're using one of the new DJI drones, and you've got a controller like this, you have a short little cable inside the controller. And this is great if you've got a phone or a tablet up here, you just plug it into that. But how do I make this long enough to actually connect to that? So I came back, I went out in the field to fly with it and didn't think that through. I came back to the shop and I said, guys, we got a problem. I mean, this is a brilliant set, but how do I connect my controller up to the goggles? So we spent, I don't know, about 3 weeks. I've had this about a month. We spent about 3 weeks trying a wide variety of cables that, in this case, it's a USB-C on the back of the unit. So I tried a USB-C to my Apple connector. No joy, didn't work. Or if I tried 10 cables, maybe 3 would work, they'd be intermittent. And the challenge is when you're flying in the open, the last thing you want is for the connection between your phone and the controller to go bad. So we sat down, actually put together a custom set of cables that actually fixed that problem for you, because connecting a cable from here to there may work for some cables, it won't work for all of them, and it could be intermittent for most of them. So what you need to guarantee that is you need an OTG connection on this end. So we went out with the manufacturers we work with and we picked up a bunch of different OTG connectors. A lot of them were kind of funky, some were solid where they stuck in the bottom, and then that was awkward to close it up. And we came up with a set of OTG connectors here that actually plug right into the back of the controller. So there's 2 sets. There's one that's USB-C that'll plug in there that mates up with a female USB-A. And then the kit we put together would have that with whatever cable you need. So if you're flying with an Apple product, you'll connect up the USB-A here, just like this. Let me get this guy out of the way. Connect up the USB-A right here, and then plug the other into your phone, the other end of it into your phone, and have it extend outside the goggle case. So you plug this into the phone really quickly. Then you can close the zipper up around it like this, and you're good to go. So this will hang nice and easy for you when you put this on your head, and you've got this cable hanging off the back. Now, what we did was we had a couple of different manufacturers that tried to put products together for us. I'm a big fan of having these nylon coated cables that are really, really flexible. And this works really well because it gives you strain relief off the back of the controller. And this will work just perfectly. Now in the kit, there's going to be 2 of these adapters. We've got one here. That's the USB-C for this one. And if you're flying another drone, whether it be an Evo product or you're flying the older versions of the products from DJI, we've got one here that's micro USB that plugs in the side, but it's the same connection here. So essentially, we're gonna have 2 kits available. We're gonna have one that works with Android. If you got an Android phone like this, that's USB-C on the bottom. We'll have another one that'll work with Apple, which is the standard iPhone connection. And that'll assure you that you've got a great connection between them, and you're not gonna have problems with it intermittent. Now, my concern again, when I was up in the sky, is a couple of times, I tried a ton of cables. I probably tried about 50 different cables. Here's 2 that did work. And the reason these work, and this is an Android product, it's USB-C on one end and USB-C on the other end. And the reason these worked is because they're the highest performance cables you can buy. These are typically used for charging and transferring video between this and a display, but these are like $35 cables, and they're as stiff as garden hoses. So there's no flexibility in this at all. So I got it working, but I hated it. So we went out and we put together a kit like we do, because we manufacture products, our guys are engineers, and they sit down and tinker with stuff, and they came up with this really nice kit that allows you to, again, connect up a cable right here and plug it in the back of the controller, and you're off and running. And it's going to work every time for it. It's going to just be great. One added benefit of this is if you have an Android phone, this OTG adapter will plug into a USB-C connection on the Android phone, and now you have an OTG connection here, so you can connect up a thumb drive, a keyboard, a mouse, whatever. As long as the phone supports OTG, you'll be in good shape. Apple's a little bit more, I don't know, queasy about that. They don't like that. But if you do plug the cable in on an OTG for the USB-C, you'll be fine. And that's pretty much all I had for today. Now, again, I love this product. I think they've done a phenomenal job, but I know what's going to happen. You're going to get excited about it. You're going to buy them. And again, you can buy them directly from the company. They're not available yet on Amazon or in the States, but the company has them on their website. They ship by DHL. I think it took them about 4 days to 5 days to get them to me in the States. But you can buy them right from their website. But I promise you, when you get them, you're going to get excited like I did. You're going to race outside to start flying, and you're going to realize pretty quickly, how do I connect it? Now, you may get lucky, you may have a cable that works, but if you need one that's going to guarantee to work every time, that's the kit. It's 2 adapters and a cable. And again, we're trying to make this reasonably priced, but everything in here is heavy duty. It's been well researched, well tested. We've been flying with this thing for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it just works really well. So that's all I had for today. I think these guys have done a phenomenal job with this product, because what it does for me is it solves that FPV problem. I can fly it on any of my drones with any phone I've got. No software, no batteries, no headaches, nothing to charge. And it works really well. And that FPV experience, I have to say it again, flying a drone, looking at it, looking at your screen where you see what the drone sees through the camera, and putting on those goggles, that immersive experience, it's like you're Superman. You're flying through the woods, you're flying over the rivers. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely brilliant experience. So support these guys. I think it's a fantastic product and I can totally recommend it. I've had other viewers that have bought it, loved it, and told me about it as well. So I'm a fan of the company. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy flying.